Hola, my name is Nelly Torres, and I am running for the General at-Large officer. In my last video, I talked about my platform, training, transparency, and advocacy. So let's talk about training. But before that, I want to give you an idea where this passion that I have for training comes from. You know, my passion comes from the fact that I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. And my abuela Tere not only always instilled in me that education was important, but my abuela Tere was a product of the Great Depression era. Yet, and only with a 5th grade education, she managed to help my grandpa build a small business. And I grew up reading newspapers while sitting on her lap at the store, practicing my reading when I was a little girl. And that's where my newspaper passion, love for journalism comes from. And that has evolved over the years. I love journalism and I love investigative reporting. And when I left the island, which was not part of my plan, I was really in a very precarious position because my English skills were not very good. So my passion also comes from the fact that I have to work really hard. Studying and finishing my education with a dictionary next to it because English was not my first language. And my passion also comes from the fact that I know what it's like to be the first Latina in my first newspaper job in Northeast Texas at the Herald Democrat. And my family being separated at the time because I wanted to have a career. And so I have to go and move there while my husband, who is an Army soldier stationed in Fort Sill as a drill sergeant, stayed there. And we were separated for 18 months. And I have young children who were with me at the time. My children grew up in newspapers. No, they're not journalists. My passion also comes from the fact that I found people along the way who inspire me and mentor me and help me, not only at NAHJ, but also when I discovered the Investigative Reporters and Editor Organization around the same time. It was the same year that I discovered both in the late 90s. And I had amazing people who taught me how to train me. And I've been doing this now for over 10 years, training journalists and journalists of color all over the United States and Latin America, and mentoring as well. And I think the NAHJ should reach out and work with groups in our sisters and brothers in the other groups of journalists of color. I have relationship with a lot of these groups from over the years. I have mentored and also trained journalists, Asian journalists of their association, Native American journalists. Last year, I also have relationship with the Chicas Poderosas and Periodistas de a Pie. And I'm very involved with the Education Writers Association and also the Environmental Journalism Organization. I've been a member on and off for years, and SPJ. And so I think that we need to create a laboratory where we can all collaborate and work together, especially the other groups, journalism of color, LGBTQ organization, and also journalists with disabilities. We have so much in common that we can work together and we can accomplish so much. But before we do all those things, we also need to make this conference affordable, which has never been, and it's too expensive. And a lot of people can really afford this. And a lot of employers nowadays don't support this. And I don't think things are gonna get any better. So we need to have discussions about how we can cut and really make this more affordable, but at the same time, concentrate our efforts of giving top-notch training all across the board, from management up the way down to entry level in both languages. And I want to work for you on this. I will be honored if you vote for me, because I really want to make a difference, and it is time, and this is the time to do it. So please vote for me. Reach out if you have any questions. And I think we can accomplish a lot when we work together. And si se puede, mi gente. Muchas gracias.